Ladies and gentlemen, there are athletes who rise through the ranks with sheer power, others with unrelenting consistency. And then, every once in a while, a player emerges whose game radiates a symphony, a harmony of power, precision, courage, and elegance. Today, we speak of Carlos Alcaraz, a young man rewriting the manual of modern tennis, one electrifying match at a time. It's no longer up for debate that Alcaraz possesses the most complete game of his generation. From the thunderous forehand to the feather-light drop shots, from explosive movement to charismatic presence, the Spaniard has it all. But even as analysts heap praise upon his dazzling array of tools, one vital weapon continues to fly under the radar. One silent sentinel that anchors his success. That underappreciated weapon, his second serve. Yes, his second serve, that subtle, often overlooked dimension of his artillery. In a tennis world that glorifies 220 km/h bombs and highlight reel winners, the value of the second serve is often reduced to a mere statistic. But when Carlos Alcaraz steps onto a court, that second serve becomes a statement. A mindset. A turning point. At Queen's Club in London this past week, under the golden glare of the June sun and in front of a captivated British crowd, Carlos Alcaraz made his first competitive appearance since conquering the red clay of Paris in that unforgettable 5-set epic against Jannik Sinner. The echoes of Roland Garros still rang in the tennis world's ears, but Alcaraz had already turned the page. A new chapter was underway. A new surface. A new challenge. And so came Adam Walton, the tenacious Aussie, standing across the net on grass, a surface unforgiving in its pace and bounce. A tricky opponent, no doubt. Yet the Spaniard never blinked. He never doubted. He never flinched. The scoreline read 6-4, 7-6, 4. But it told only a fragment of the story. For beneath the numbers lay a subtle war, waged not just with rackets and strings but with nerves, momentum, and millimeters. And in those clutch moments, where tension tightens the gut and the crowd holds its breath, it was the second serve of Carlos Alcaraz that spoke loudest. He landed 75% of his second serve points. 75. That's not luck. That's mastery. On grass, where break points loom like shadows and every slip can prove fatal, Alcaraz stood tall, and it was that understated second serve that carried him through. Make no mistake, Walton came to play. The Australian forced 2 break points, crafted clever rallies, and gave the Wimbledon champion something to think about. But each time he edged closer to a breakthrough, Alcaraz answered. Not with panic, not with brute force, but with calm, unshakable poise. And more often than not, with a perfectly placed second serve that turned defense into offense in the blink of an eye. The serve is often seen as a starting point, a routine. But for Carlos, it is a launchpad. A chess move. A moment of control in the chaos. And while his first serve dazzled, winning a formidable 86% of points, it was the second that truly revealed his growth. His evolution. His intelligence. This isn't just a rising star anymore. This is a tactician. A maestro. A Grand Slam champion with the swagger of youth and the patience of a veteran. And let us not forget, this is grass. The great equalizer. The surface where many clay and hard court kings have faltered. Where bad bounces and fast skids humble the boldest of players. But not Alcaraz. For he has already lifted the Wimbledon trophy once, and his return to the lawns of London looks like the continuation of a royal reign. During the practice sessions at Queen's Club, observers noted something fascinating. A quiet intensity. A focus not on the flashy, but on the fine details. Placement, rhythm, spin. And especially on the second serve, which he hit with variation, depth, and deceptive kick. While many players simply hope not to lose the point on their second serve, Carlos Alcaraz is looking to win it. And why wouldn't he? This is a player who relishes the big stage. Who trains not just for victory, but for the moments within the match where champions are truly forged. Those nerve-jangling deuce points, those sudden tiebreaks, those suffocating break opportunities for opponents. In those moments, his second serve is a dagger, precise, purposeful, devastating. We remember the match against Jannik Sinner in the French Open final not just for its raw athleticism and drama, but for the resilience Alcaraz displayed. The emotional control. And yes, for the confidence with which he entrusted his second serve in the biggest moments. It's no accident that he walked away with his 5th Grand Slam title. It's no fluke. It's the product of a complete player operating on another plane. Now, As the eyes of the tennis world turn toward Wimbledon, the storylines multiply. Can Novak Djokovic return to the peak? Will Sinner build upon his own brilliance? Can a dark horse emerge from the pack? But through it all, Carlos Alcaraz remains the beacon, the standard, the heartbeat of a new tennis era. And as pundits and fans debate his forehand, his movement, his net play, let us also celebrate that silent engine. That second serve, that unsung hero of his game. For it is in those quiet moments, when the pressure is suffocating and time slows down, that the true genius of Alcaraz shines. He does not just hit second serves. He crafts them. He places them with surgical touch, disguises them with a flick of the wrist, and delivers them with the belief of a man who knows exactly who he is and what he is destined to become. And so we watch, we marvel, we learn. For in Carlos Alcaraz, tennis has not merely found a champion, it has found a craftsman, a warrior, a storyteller. And that second serve, so often overlooked, is a chapter that deserves its own spotlight. Let the rest of the field prepare their returns. Let them plot their tactics and sharpen their instincts. But let them not underestimate the value of what lies beneath the radar. For beneath the Alcaraz highlight reel is a foundation built on reliability, on trust, on mastery. And it begins with the bounce, the toss, the breath, and the beauty of that second serve. Because in a sport where margins are everything and greatness is defined by how one handles pressure, Carlos Alcaraz is quietly